strong man. Tell me what your secret is. Tell me please, can you put my mind at ease? When you're standing in the spotlight with all the girls around, I was wondering how you do it, how you make that sound. Tell me, tell me what your secret is.
This is a bit of a stretch for me. I mean, I'm really forcing myself to do this podcast, and I'm really having to force myself to speak this much because the more that I've been getting into it, the more I find myself that I don't even have the energy to speak this much. You know what I mean? Like, I don't ever have conversations with people in my normal life or my normal day where I just run on and on, you know what I mean? Just letting my mouth run. And that's pretty much what a podcast is about, is letting your mouth run. And I don't know how I feel about it. I feel like the potential is there to increase the bond between me and, you know what I mean, the people who are actually listening to me, who actually give a shit. So that, I think, is awesome. And I really, really, really hope that somebody out there, one of you guys that's listening, is getting something out of what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Big blessings to you if you are, because I've been working hard, and I hope there's somebody out there who is appreciative of something I've done. But I was fine, you know what I mean, with doing all of my speaking through my music. Doing all of my speaking through the songs that I'm playing, and doing all of my speaking through my guitar playing and whatnot. But the further I've gotten into the quote-unquote new music business, I started into a new music business about 5 years ago that was different than the music business was 20 years ago or whatever, you know. So the further I've gotten into the new music business, the more that I've just sadly had to realize that people just don't value music anymore. And that's the stone cold truth. It's just something that people don't value anymore. They've got music running out of their ears. We've all been used to getting our music for free for like 15 years now or something like that. And people are spoiled about music, and they don't value it at all. And so the first 3 years I started making albums again, I was really just kind of trying to find my voice or whatever. But it slowly had to dawn on me that I was sort of approaching everything and saying like the old way, the music, and the music is all that matters. And you know what I mean, really hammering it away, saying this is going to be the record company and this is how I'm going to do it. And man, I just slowly and painfully had to realize that I was just like this old man that you see in a movie or something that's a traveling salesman. And like he's traveling all over the country from place to place, trying to sell this product, you know what I mean, that nobody needs anymore. So he's going and giving his big time sales pitch to every person he goes to in every town. And he's got this fucking product that nobody needs. And it's just this goofy old man traveling around trying to sell something that nobody values anymore, or even worse than that, nobody really has any need for anymore. And it's really fucking sad, but that's really the way things are with music right now. It's just something that people don't value the way that they should. It's all been handed to us on a platter, you know what I mean? Music equipment is cheaper than ever before. It's practically free. I'm telling you, if you wanted to record a professional album, all you need is about $400 worth of equipment, and that's including, you know what I mean, a half-ass laptop. It's just the advantages there for making music these days are just insane. You know what I mean? Don't even get me started on the prices of music equipment back in the 90s when I was coming up or whatever, and the fact that every $5,000-$10,000 piece of equipment that's out now, everything that was $5,000 or $10,000 in the 90s is basically free now. You know what I mean? I'm getting off on a whole nother tangent here, but my real gripe with this segment was that people just don't value music anymore, and it's been like this slow, painful realization. And I think the big separator is going to be in playing live, which I'm really getting ready to do. That's a whole nother segment too, is me talking about booking shows and stuff. But I can tell I've been playing on the internet for about 5 years now, and it's been great practice. It really has. It's helped me get over a bunch of personal hang-ups I had about performing, and it's, stage fright and all of that shit. Because if you're going to perform on the internet, you know what I mean, you got to be ready for anything. Somebody's going to say something, and I had my little go around with the trolls or whatever, and I had to learn that you don't fight with the fucking trolls because they're never fucking ending. You know what I mean? That's what the trolls want, is for you to fight with them. And so you don't fight with the fucking trolls. And mostly I found, though, apathy is the biggest fucking problem. You know what I mean? People talking shit and being negative is not the biggest fucking problem. The biggest problem is utter fucking apathy. So if you're out there right now and you're trying to work up the courage to write a book or drop an album or do whatever you're doing, get online, do your fucking performance, dude, because I promise you, apathy is the fucking word. People really just, for the most part, don't give a flying fuck about anything. People are wrapped up in their own shit, and they might watch what you're doing for about 15 seconds, and nobody's gonna fucking remember it next week. I promise you that. So that makes a great ground for practicing. You know what I mean? It makes a great place to practice online and do just one little useless performance after the other. And that's sort of what I've been doing for the last several years, is I'm just doing big, dumb, little useless, you know what I mean, dumb performances, and they've all been throwaway, and so many of them have been fucking cringy as shit. But that's okay, because you got to go through all of that shit to get to the good shit. And that's what most people don't understand, is that you have to do this massive amount of useless, boring, dumb fucking work that makes you want to throw up in order to get your nice, shiny pile of work that makes everybody happy inside. You know what I mean? So, onward we march. And maybe, I think, I'm really hopeful about the live show, to get the live show going and really get things in a different light. I think the live show is where everything is going to change for sure. And that's coming up real, real soon. So we getting there. We getting there. When I started recording the podcast, the first couple of weeks and really doing the work on it, you know what I mean? I'm trying to come up with ideas and trying to find different ways to approach recording the thing. And all of it, so much, it reminded me of like the Howard Stern story and like the Howard Stern biography that came out back in the day or whatever. And it was about how he came up in the radio business and how it was really his passion. It was really what he wanted to do, but he couldn't find a way to make it work. And he kept trying different methods on air, and you know what I mean, trying a goofy approach and trying a professional approach and trying an overblown whimsical approach or whatever, you know, trying all this different stuff to find the formula that worked or whatever. And he never could make it work until he finally just cut loose and got real as fuck. And when he finally got cut loose and started being real and started being honest and started being brutal about everything, then that's when everybody started listening. And I sort of really feel that same sort of thing going on here. Like, I've been trying different ways to do this and trying different ways to approach it, and trying to be the good guy or trying to be the positive guy or trying not to be the cynical guy, because the easiest thing for me to do was to turn the microphone on and just start talking massive shit, you know what I mean? But the power of the spoken word is powerful, and I don't want to be, you know what I mean? I don't want to be another critic in the world. The critics are cowards. Just the people that get on the air or write in a magazine or whatever and just like brutalized artists. You know what I mean? Critics are cowards. So the last thing I wanted to be was a critic. But I just sort of feel this real potential there here, like on the podcast, hear me speaking into the microphone right here. I feel like there's really something there, and that maybe I'm not really gonna get to it until I really fucking cut the bullshit, and that I really fucking get real, and that I really, like, you know what I mean, take the gloves off. And I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it right now. Will I do it in the future? It's real possible, because this has been challenging for me. And the further I get into doing this, the further I get into doing the podcast, the more it tests me. And the more it tests me, the more I'm like, well, you know what I mean? I'm going to butt heads. If you get to testing me, I'm going to butt heads with you. And so the fucking podcast has been butting heads with me. And I'm like, all right. You want to challenge me then, huh? So, but I feel like the potential is there to just like really fucking cut loose and get real fucking honest. And I don't even know that I've worked up the balls or the reason to do that yet, but I feel like it might come along. Like, if I keep forcing myself to do this every single week, it's just gonna keep getting more and more real, buddy. You know what I mean? It's just going to keep getting more and more real. The more that I go on with it, the more honest I'm going to get. And the more honest I get, then the more freaky shit is going to get, I promise you. And because I got, you know what I mean? I got no love for cowards, and I got no love for critics. And I'm just, you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm like stewing on this, and I feel that with this podcast, there really is like this potential there. That once I take the gloves off and put my foot on the gas, I feel like there really could be something there. But is it gonna be digestible? Is it gonna be marketable? That remains to be seen for sure. So stay tuned. I guess we shall see. I mean, the flip side to this is that maybe I'm just looking at it all wrong. I mean, the great thing about having a podcast is that it's also very personal. You know what I mean? And I am technically pissing in the ocean right now, and I am piling a bunch of useless words on top of an already massive pile of useless words in the world. But at the end of the day, truly, when you break it down, it's just me. It's me. The podcast is going to be little pieces of me. Every little episode that I finish is going to be a little piece of myself. And it is the way that I made it. And I put it together that way. And I left it that way. And it's got a little personal episode of a little personal show. So, and it is personal. I figure your average podcast listener is probably listening in earbuds, You know what I mean? It's a real one-on-one situation. The person listening to a podcast is not listening, you know what I mean? While blasting through auditorium speakers or whatever. Most people listen to the stuff like that in their earbuds. So that turns it into a real one-on-one situation. It's just me and the listener. It's me and you. You know what I mean? And there's a group of people I know that are paying attention to the things that I do because I could see my online numbers, and maybe, I hope, maybe it means something to one of you guys. You know what I mean? One of you good people out there that's paying attention. Maybe the stuff that I do is important to you. I hope it is. If you're hearing me talk about this and the stuff that I do means anything at all to you, then, you know what I mean? It is really important to me. I mean, I wish you guys would let me know. You know what I mean? The crowd is pretty quiet at this point. You guys don't say much. It wouldn't hurt to have a little feedback every now and then, but I think there's probably some people out there that don't really. Maybe I could possibly give a voice to somebody that doesn't necessarily know how to find their own voice, you know. So mostly the episodes are gonna be fuck this, man. So that's basically going to do it for this episode. Thanks for hanging out. It's just been me kind of forcing myself through my thoughts about having a podcast. I said I was going to do film reviews, which I still kind of plan on doing. When I get to sit down working on a film review, I'm having trouble finding what I want to say or like my enthusiasm for the process or whatever. Or maybe I just don't want to be one more person talking shit about films online. I think that might be it. Just too many punk motherfuckers in the world already anyway. Ha ha ha. Anyhow, that wraps it up for this one. I am going to keep forcing myself to do this, so it should get more and more interesting as we go along. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you next week.